So we have two winners, and I can announce them on the screen. Here we go.
I'm going to say you can announce them. I doubt you'll be able to pronounce them.
Yeah, well, you know, we don't talk about that. And the winners are...
Welcome back to the Uninkable Dads. It might be Fright Night, but forget ghosts and goblins. The real horror is top decking an Uninkable when you're one lore away from winning. It's giveaway night tonight, so stay tuned to see if you are our 500 subscriber giveaway winner. In today's episode, we'll recap the last week of Set Champs, what went down at Milwaukee DLC, and we'll give you a jump on the competition with some day one deck lists for Whispers in the Well. Joining me on this journey like a haunted guide through the cursed lands of new card testing, the man who scared off all opposition at the Set Champs this weekend like a true Lorcana Lord Lich. And he's now brewing with some new cards like some sort of enchanted cauldron. He's spooky, he's strategic, and he still can't pronounce half the set names. It's FPSMadness.
Yeah, sounds about right. You know, I don't need to pronounce them. I'll just get you to do that for me. So, you know, it's all good. So, yeah, we have a Uninkable Dads first. Now, we've won a couple of playmats, but we've never opened one live. So I thought I'd do that for you guys.
Okay.
Something a bit different. So
you've held on to it.
I have.
Sealed.
I have. So I say it's quite easy. It's basically a little thing. You pull it down side, and then away we go.
And they do reseal.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
They'll be going in a protective tube. Ooh, smack my microphone. In the protective tube, so it's all good. But yeah, there we go. One Maleficent. Probably can't hear me. One Maleficent Set Champs champion mat secure. So I want to say,
congratulations.
Before we move on too far, I want to say a massive shout out and thank you to Panos, because he massively helped me. I was going to make some horrendous misplays and he stopped me from doing it. He could have taken the win in the top 4 and potentially gone on to win the match himself, but he said no, you're all good. You know you wouldn't have normally done that. So very kind of him. Without him, I think I would have lost my top 4 game. So yeah, I'm very grateful to him for that one. And yeah, so we've done pretty well. We both managed to get him at this set.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, really good haul. Yeah, I managed to squeak into top 8. Lily got into top 8 as well for the weekend. So yeah, really good season of Set Champs.
Yeah,
favoured. So it was good.
I think Chelmsford itself's done. You know, our store's done quite well because we've got me, you, Panos, and Matt, who's kind of like becoming a regular. All got mats, so we had a good show from our locals. So
yeah. And it was an interesting Set Champs, right? Because there was a real spread of decks there, so it wasn't like you could go, oh, you know, I'm just gonna hook into purple steel all day, playing Blurple, and you know, be fine. It's like you were gonna have to play an aggro deck somewhere along the line. You were gonna have to play a Blurple deck. You were gonna have to play a bit of everything. So yeah, so well done, because you know. I mean,
yeah, it was a bit of a mismatch of games. I was quite lucky. I'm not gonna lie. I got the perfect matchup for my final match. You know, I was on Blurple. You've all seen my list. We're not gonna go over my list too much. Plus, it's now old news. We're away from Set Champs. We're moving on to the next set. But yeah, pretty much standard Blurple list. Couple of tech cards in there, but nothing major. And I drew into purple steel, and I as far as I'm aware, touch wood, I don't think I've actually lost to that matchup for quite a while. It's one of those ones I feel very, very confident going into. So I didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel anything like overly like worried about the matchup. So therefore, I think I played quite loosely and played quite freely, which helped. I didn't make any misplays or anything because I wasn't worried about it, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was a nice feeling. If you can get to that feeling in every game, I think I'll play my best all the time. But yeah. Okay, so without further ado, let's get this ball rolling. So this week, obviously, we did it. We hit the magical 500. We've now surpassed this. So thank you for everyone who did go down and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done so already, go down, still do it. You know, we've got to work our way. We're now on our way to 1,000. So
Well, we do know that over the last few weeks, roughly 1,000 people a week have watched Uninkable Dads, but we have just over 500 subscribers. So at least half of you are not as yet subscribed. So if you are watching and you haven't subscribed as yet, just scroll down, exert that subscribe button, and join us on this journey through Lorcana. We actually know who the 500th subscriber was, so shout out to Jordan. We were on 499 at locals on Friday night, and I grabbed Jordan, who was there working in the store, who I know has watched I know who's watched our channel a few times, but I was like, "Are you actually subscribed?" And he was one of those. So do make sure you check whether you're one of those who has watched the channel but wasn't actually subscribed. So you click the subscribe button and it took us over the 500 subscribers. So nice to do that at locals. That was kind of a nice moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. So obviously for the giveaway, we'll do the giveaway draw in a little bit, but just to let you know what's coming. So for first place, so we do actually have 2 prize places. So first place will be walking away with the goodies. So they will be getting a law book, a Amber League box, 3 promos, 4 packs, and an Uninkable Dad sticker. Now the sticker's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I've already stuck one on a deck box, and they hold really well. So I'm definitely going to be rocking them on my deck box. But second place will be going away with 3 packs, 2 promos, and a sticker as well. So you will also get a sticker. If you are one of our regulars that write into the Art Matters game and stuff like that, give us a shout. Drop us a message on in the comments. Let us know if you want a sticker, and we'll see if we can sort some out for some people. But yeah, it's
So we've got first and second place. So if you've been missing the second place, Matt, you're in the right place. We support second place, so
we do.
We love you, Ravensburger, but just bring the second place Matt back.
That's
but
second place sticker. That's what we need.
Yeah, that'd do.
Yeah, that'd do. Anything.
Shiny sticker.
Yeah, you can start a sticker album.
Yeah, might be odd. So,
well, yeah. But yeah, we'll jump on to.
You get a sticker for each one. You get a sticker for first place and the second place and the top 4.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
You fill out a little sticker album over the year.
Yeah, see? And then you can see where you've come on each Set Champs. It's like a Set Champs record book. See? There you go. Include us in the naming when you call that, and call it the Young Uninkable Dads Set Champ Prizing Regiment or something like that. So we'll do the draw for the thing towards the end of the episode, but jumping in, DLC Milwaukee was this weekend. So I was really excited about this, that I didn't get to watch as much as I was hoping to. I've watched a bit. I need to go back. I want to watch the finals again and stuff like that, but I managed to watch a little bit of it. Some surprising numbers with what was there. We've got a few more blue steel, a few more ruby amethyst than there was beforehand. We're only talking 2% of the share here, but again, that purple steel, purple blue, or blurple taking up, 50% or over 50% of the share of the room. That is huge. The next purple deck was obviously Ruby Amethyst, which we know, unfortunately, Ruby's just fallen off. Ruby's just not really a viable colour to be playing at the minute. And Amber Amethyst,
41 brave souls took it to a DLC.
Yeah. I mean, we've got more Ruby Sapphire than we did last one. So people have obviously seen and gone, I'm going to go and support that solo person who took it to the last DLC. And there were 6 of them this time around. They're starting a little club. So yeah, out of 1,934 players. So that's a decent number turnout for it. But yeah, the conversion rate, surprise, was massively in the Blurple favour. 40% got through on Blurple, which is huge. I mean, when you go back and look at the day 1 numbers, I believe Amber Steel is dropped and Ember Amber Emerald has also dropped in numbers compared to the one before, which were the two decks that Blurple struggled with. Because Purple Steel has become so powerful that those decks just can't win against it. So therefore, they dropped in numbers, and then we've got a higher conversion rate of Blurple.
Yeah, so they've dropped away, and then Amethyst Steel was a big percentage. So you feel that Blurple has kind of feasted on Amethyst Steel a little bit, but that wasn't totally the story.
No,
at the end of the day, was it?
No, there was definitely some outlying stories out there. So, but yeah, we if anyone doesn't know, obviously the winner of the Milwaukee was Frank Carlston. So now he is a 2-time DLC winner. He's got himself another golden Mickey. I don't know how many he's got because he's probably had a few top 8 placements. But yeah, he's got himself another DLC trophy, and yeah, his deck was a little bit spicy. So
he likes his 1-drops, and he couldn't make his mind up.
No,
like,
I mean,
which deck am I going to play? I'm not sure. Let's just.
Everyone says like consistency's key, right? So it's got to be like 4 this, 4 this, 4 this, 4 this, and he goes, nah, we'll just have 1 of this, 3 of this. It's like a pick mix deck.
And in one of the games in the final, we saw the Timothy Q Mouse, we saw the Tinkerbell. I think we saw the Scar come out as well, all in the same game. So they seem to appear for him at the right time.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often you would run into a one-off. You probably run into it more than you think, and especially if it's only in there for a very specific matchup. It's like, well, just running one's fine. It's like the Scar, for instance. It's like most of the time Blurple are outdrawing anything anyway. Sorry, not Blurple, but Purple is outdrawing anything anyway. But you do get those points that you are a little bit low. Well, if you top deck a Scar and you've got an ally on board, then great. You're going to be drawing cards from it. So, especially when you've got Tink in there, she's a 4. So that's, once you've used her, done her ability, she's got 4 damage on, they're going to trade into her next turn anyway. Well, bye-bye, Tink, I'll draw 4 cards, So, I think it was obviously a very good call by him, and he's obviously done very well with it. I just wasn't expecting a deck with this much jumble in it to do as well as it did. And I think that may start a potential thing of, do we see this more often now? Do we start seeing players like put more one-offs in decks and dropping things down to 3? It was like a couple of set champs ago, I was running that deck with 3 of everything, wasn't I? To give me more space for other cards. It's like, are we going to start seeing things like that? So, but yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. I think
it probably is meta dependent. Depending on
obviously
exactly what's going on, but I mean, he played the 4 ofs and the cards that he needed. So he seemed to see things at the right time. I mean, trimmed a dock out of this, didn't he? Yeah, 3 docks. So
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of like everyone just.
Yeah, when you got 4 Dumbo, 3 Yzma, and a Scar, I suppose you can afford to drop 1 dock. You're basically swapping dock for a Scar, aren't you? So uninkable wise. But the fact he's got 3 Yzma and 4 Dumbo, that's a lot of potential there. Along with obviously the Genie as well. Yeah.
Massive congratulations. I mean, it was interesting. I thought the final, so it's best of 5. It all went with play. So
yeah, like I said, I haven't seen the final, so I need to watch that back. But
so really good final. I mean, there's some really nice moments in it. Some really interesting board states. And some of it was really tight, but ultimately every game was won by the player going first.
Yeah, which was he against Blurple in the final?
Against Blurple in the final.
So that's weird because he's managed to take down a deck that I would have thought would be favoured the other way. So that's interesting to see. So I'm definitely gonna have to watch that one and see if there's anything that what he's done there, because people are going to watch that, know how to then play Purple Steel against Blurple, so I need to watch that to work out what I need to do to counter it. Because a lot of people, I've still got action to go, which is set 9 still, So a lot of people may be running that in action. So it's like, well, if I'm going to take my Blurple list, I now need to know how Frank played that game. So that way I don't get rolled in the same way. So, yeah, someone else who took Blurple that also, unfortunately, well, I'll say unfortunately, you got to take your wins with your losses. Did get knocked out of top 8 was DKP. So he took Blurple and he got knocked out by a 10-year-old. It's not every day you're going to hear that. So
this was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really nice to see, and it's it's one of those ones of that kid's going to remember this forever now. I think I'm 90% sure his name was Adrian. Is that right?
Aiden, yeah. I think it was his
something
first.
Close to that.
I think I could have. This could be completely wrong, but I think it was his first DLC.
Really?
I think they hadn't. The family had started playing Lorcana. I think not that long ago. I don't think there'd been a
nice
Lorcana through and through. As far as I know, I could have got that wrong. If I got it wrong, let me know in the comments. But yeah, no, it was great. I noted that he got into the top 32. Obviously, they don't put minors on stream.
No.
So we didn't get to watch any of his games, unfortunately. But yeah, I was like, that was just incredible that he got through to the top 32.
Yeah.
Like, hang on a minute, he's in the top 16. And yeah, and then top 16 he gets the world champion. I mean, the mental resilience, because these are long days, right? So
I don't know.
This is not just
about
being able to play.
Being a kid helped. Like, maybe if we sat down next to him, you know who he is more.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do anything wrong here. He's just gonna, this should be his easily. Whereas as a kid, you don't really pay attention to any of that. It's like, well, I'm gonna sit down and play my deck. It's like Lily. Lily sits down at a Set Champs, and it doesn't matter who's sitting opposite her. She's gonna, give them a bit of banter and make sure they know that she's there to take them down. So,
yeah, that's probably true. And if so, actually, there's probably something in that for all of us to think about. We can be our own worst enemies by putting those things in our head rather than just sitting down and going, well, this is just another match against another Lorcana player. They've got the same set of 60 cards as I've played against probably several times.
Yeah.
It's just another match. But yeah, no, just incredible. As I say, these are long days at these events, right? And
yeah, definitely.
So to keep that concentration up, to be, I mean, you're by that point in the tournament, you're sat on a sort of single row of tables with some of the best players in the world. And as I say, even as a kid, if you're, if you have a slightly different mental attitude, it still must be a big thing, must be overwhelming to suddenly be sat.
Like you say, you're still playing the world champ, the reigning world champion.
Exactly.
So
it was sat next to Frank Carsten. Literally, so Frank Carsten was literally the next on the same table next to them. So, just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so he goes.
Congratulations to
100%. He goes down as the youngest Lorcana player to hold a golden Mickey. So, by quite a way, I believe. I believe the next youngest was quite a bit higher. I don't even know if they're a teenager. They might even be adult.
Right.
But yeah, so 10-year-olds holding a £10,000 golden Mickey card. It's nice, isn't it? I saw a little interview with him. Obviously, if you want to check that out, go over to, I think it's the Lumineers. They've got an interview with him. And he basically says, like, his family are just fully committed. Like, their tables is all set up. All of them play it. Like, the mum, dad, brother, sister, the whole lot. So they all play. So yeah, check it out. He's on there. Yeah, he's definitely congratulations.
They must be so proud. I mean, that must be an amazing family moment. And shout out to Aiden's Uninkable Dad. So yeah, if you do watch this and you want to come and have a chat to us, we'd love to have you on and find out exactly how that was for you as an Uninkable Dad. I suspect his dad was far more nervous than Aiden was.
Yeah. I know I would be. But yeah.
DKP had quite an eventful weekend actually as well. So as well as making it quite deep into the tournament, and then getting knocked out by Aiden, he also had a very interesting deck check. So deck checks are something that happens all the time. DKP must have been deck checked dozens and dozens of times, or hundreds of times in Lorcana career, because it tends to be in the later stages of the competitions that you have your deck checked, and that's normally just to make sure that you are running the cards that are in your deck list, that none of the cards are marked or anything like that. And obviously, none of that was a problem for DKP, but being the world champ, having access to an awful lot of shiny cards,
just a bit,
he plays them in his deck. So something like 20 cards in his deck were enchanted.
That's mental,
great, which was brilliant. I mean, I saw him in his first round on stream. It was just awesome to see these cards being played in a deck. But there's a bit of an issue, it turns out, with playing enchanted in your deck. So the foiling process makes the cards, and people might have seen this, makes enchanted cards or foil cards slightly more slightly more likely to warp. So you might have seen this sort of we call it the Pringles effect at a local store, where the card's slightly bent. And so what that means actually is that if you have, let's say you just have one of these cards in your deck, and that card is slightly bent, you could cut to it as you're sort of shuffling your deck, sorting your deck out. Or if it comes to the top of your deck, it would be obvious what card it is that's on the top of your deck. Yeah. So there you go. Michael's giving us an idea. Just a slight bend. It's not huge, and you wouldn't call it a damage card or anything like that. But when it's in a deck, you can tell there's just a little bit bent. So therefore, you could have a slight advantage in knowing what card is on the top of your deck. So when the deck check went through, they decided that this was potentially giving DKP some kind of advantage. Now, the amount of enchantments he had in his deck, he couldn't cut to a specific card. There was no way that he could track any specific cards. So therefore, there was no penalty other than they decided that he had to take some of these enchantments out, and they gave him proxies to play in his deck instead, which were basically like the card with a sticker over the top with all the information of the card on. Didn't quite look as good as playing with these really nice looking enchantments.
You'd think they'd just print them out, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. Or actually, I think what he was saying was just give him 15 minutes. His team manager was there with every Lorcana card that's ever been printed. He could have just swapped them out for normal cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously didn't affect his game, didn't affect his tournament. But it's worth noting for people that are going to future DLCs, because my understanding is there were a couple of people that took game losses because they had not because they had enchantments in the deck, but because they played, say, just a play set of one thing. So they're just four cards in their deck, say like the Elsas. Elsa's are quite a popular one, right? Lots of people have bought those gift sets to get that promo.
Say, if you can see there, you wouldn't be able to spot it within the deck. So this is what I think they mean by it. So in there, you can't tell where they are, really. Yeah. I mean, if you're really, really good. The issue is when one of them becomes your top card.
Yeah, you got a slight bend. Yeah, you can just...
It's not a lot, but you can see it. And that's when... Obviously, it's your top deck. So when it becomes your top deck, so if I now got that and cut up, you can't see it in there. But as soon as it becomes your top deck, you might be able to see it. Obviously, you'd really have to be paying attention to it. But technically, I agree. Technically, it is a marked card.
So, yeah. So I mean, we don't want to put people off getting enchanted, playing enchanted. So
don't put anyone off.
Still run them. Definitely run them at locals. And enjoy the flex. I think you'd be fine running them at Set Champs, but I think the advice, if you are going to a DLC, would be to avoid them. Either go all the way, and
your entire deck
being enchanteds and foils, and then you're kind of okay. Or go with none of them and just use the standard cards just to save yourself that headache. I think there was one gentleman who sadly got a match loss on day 2 through having four full promos in the deck. And that's not someone that's trying to gain an advantage in any way.
Just he's showing off with his promos and unfortunately got picked out for it.
So just a bit of advice there if you are going to the DLCs. Just check your cards, and if you really think that you want to play with some of the shiny stuff in your deck, just make sure it's as flat as possible.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get the Elsas, put them in top loaders, and put something heavy on them. Try and flatten them out properly, but yeah, unfortunately, it's just part of the way they're made. So, yep. So going on from there, we have some Lorcana news. So up first, we have Zootropolis 2 is coming out. So obviously, this is coming out in cinemas on November the 26th. But we have a special promo card to collect, a bit like the Moana that we did before with Moana 2. But this one's got a different icon. We now have what looks like a movie, like real icon. So hopefully that means more Disney films, more cards.
That's
essentially.
Awesome. I mean, I've already told the kids they're going. They're a bit like, do we want to see Zootopia 2? I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I think I'm free that weekend. I'll come with you. Let me have a look. It's when is it? 26th to the 30th. Yeah, no, all good. I'm free that weekend. It's my work student.
Awesome.
My work student the night before, so I'll go to the cinema hungover. It's all good.
Cool. We'll get a bunch of us there. That'll be cool.
And then, so talking about promos, there has been a little bit of confusion with the Set Champs card for next set. So this is the Set Champs card. The participation. This, when it changes, is the foil version for top 8. So instead of having that 2 different art styles, you've got the Set Champs and the promo Set Champs card looking completely different. We now have Set Champs card and the Set Champs foil card. So the artwork is the same. We just have one that's foil and one's not foil. I apologize about the way this is being displayed. The only way I could do it was off the app, get a real good picture. But the normal Set Champs participation card is this one, and this is the Set Champs top 8 card because it's foil.
I'm not sure I like that.
No. It's harder to tell which is which. Unless the foiling is really, really obvious. Because this looks like it's got all the effect where the foil would be, but without the foil. So
yeah, and if you don't play loads of Set Champs, you're somebody that goes long, maybe plays 1 or 2, can make a top 8. I kind of like the fact that I got the 2 cards, if you know what I mean, the 2 cards. I suppose though
you could have
and I got the promo.
You could have 4 of them, but like 2 of them are foil and the rest aren't. I don't know. I think we're gonna have to wait and see what they look like.
Doesn't have the enchanted symbol on either.
No. Well, the Set Champs one doesn't anyway, does it?
Did it not? They did up to Jafar. Oh no, you're right. They didn't
No, I was going to say I'm pretty sure they dropped that. So yeah, that was one that people had spotted in the write-up for Set Champs. And then on the Lorecast last week, we have been confirmed when the tickets for Richmond go on sale. So we'll finish one DLC and we're straight into the next. So this one's not until January now, so we've got a little bit of a break. And the tickets go on sale on the 10th of November. So like I said, this episode comes out on Halloween, so 31st of October. So you've got 10 days, and then the tickets go on sale for Richmond. 2,000 player event, which is nice. Be a standard of what we've seen. So we're guessing, 9 rounds in day 1, top cut. Well, not top cut, but 18 points plus, I think it is to go to day 2, and then a top cut from there. But we've also had news on the next European one, which is in Belgium, which is tickets go on sale on the 15th, 5 days later. But this is a 4,000 player capacity. which is huge. We're talking double the amount. And when we looked online, this is actually a 3-day event. So this is the 6th to the 8th. But when they say 6th to the 8th, it is literally Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there'll be Swiss on Friday, Swiss on Saturday, Top Cut on Sunday. That's a lot of rounds. So what's that? If they can do 9 rounds of Top Cut, what's 9? 256 Top Cut? 250, 164, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2. Yeah. So 256 players Top Cut. That's
that's going to be a mad event.
Mental. But yeah, it's nice to see. Nice to see him really stretching it now, pushing out to that 4,000 to see if it's actually doable. You might find that you don't get that many players. I'm hoping you will, because it would be nice for the European side to say, look, we need these events.
Yeah.
There is only 4, I think, or 3 in Europe. So I know a few of us are going to be trying to go. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out cheap by the time we get over there. Unfortunately, doing anything in the UK, if you try and travel anywhere, it costs an arm and leg to get there. So we'll have to wait and see on this one. But I think a few of us are. I think we're probably going to try and get tickets first and then work out who's going from there. So, but yeah.
And for anyone who is playing at Axion and hasn't seen, because Axion is over the weekend that the tickets go on sale, they have announced that there will be a break built into the tournament, so that people can get online and try and grab their tickets. So if you are queued up to play at Axion and you're a bit worried about that, you don't need to worry. That's all been sorted. You can go along, enjoy Axion, and still grab your tickets.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're going to try and work the rounds, that the round finishes like 20 minutes before it's due, and then everyone's got half-hour break to get it sorted, sort of thing. So, be nice. So, 1 week away now. Halloween today. 1 week away from the Whispers. Now, I've got to admit, this set has got some proper Halloweeny themes to it. I'm so glad it's dropping at this time of year. But one thing I wanted to bring up quickly before we jump into some day one decks and what we think would be really good for day one is a little bit of info on the league/promos. So we have, I believe, Scar and Zeus are one of them's for entry, the other one's Scar's buy box, the other one's pre-release, and then the other one is can't remember. It's another one, and then you got a couple of league ones. Now, the main thing I wanted to pick up here is we actually only have 1 pin for next set.
Yeah.
Because these are stickers. So we only have the ruby pin and stickers. There's no character pin in this set.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously it says at the top here what's included, and they are stickers. So we've got 300 aerial stickers. I think our locals get 2 of these because of the amount of players. So we've got 600 stickers between us. We should just stick them all over the store. I don't really know how I feel on that. I'm guessing the prices of consistently making them is starting to get a bit high.
Really?
Yeah. When you think they send 2 out to our store, 2 out to some others, it's all for free. They don't pay for them. It could very quickly rack up. And cards are nothing. If anything, give us small cards because cards don't really cost them anything. Pins, I wouldn't have thought they make themselves, so therefore they've got to, find a supplier to make them and whatever else. So there is the storage boxes as well, but we don't have a picture of that. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that, but I just wanted to get that information out there for people.
Uninkable Dads stickers I can get behind. Those are exciting. Exactly. Give me an Uninkable Dads sticker, but yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm quite so excited at being drawn out in the raffle to win an aerial sticker. But yes, we still got the pin, the ruby pin. The lore counter looks awesome. And some fabulous promos. And the promos actually, I know the Great Illuminary and the Elsa at least are pretty playable.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the Scar is as well. I'm less
Yeah,
familiar on the Zeus and the Horseman strikes actually because I'm not fully up on all of the cards
yeah. I
in the
mean,
set as yet.
a lot of people when the Horseman Strikes come out was like, "Oh my god, you can just banish an evasive." It's like, let's be honest, what evasives do you really want to deal with 100%? Like, must deal with Dumbo. Well, you just play Fire the Cannon, play Smash if you're that worried. It's free cost
Yeah.
Inkable, same cost. Obviously it's in Amber, not Steel, but I don't really, outside of Amber Steel, I don't really know what deck you'd play that in. It would feel a bit awkward in other decks. But if Mario Half Shot makes a massive comeback, then potential that sees a bit of play. So going into day one decks. So I've got a Amber Steel aggro control. So we've moved away slightly from just flat out aggro now. Just mainly because you're just not going to be able to keep up with it. There's going to be too many. Now we've got a couple of board wipes brought back into the game. And the whole game is just going slightly more mid-ranged. I think aggro will slowly die off a little bit. It'll go to this more control element. So the Amber Steel cards here, most of them you would have seen, so we'll just highlight a few of the newer ones. So first of all, we have Rapunzel. So she is a support character. She's a 1/2, and her ability is whenever one of your characters is chosen for support, until the start of your next turn, the next time they dealt damage, take no damage instead. That's a mouthful. To summarize this up, you can quest with Rapunzel, give it to Tiana, and Tiana will take no damage for the first time.
Yeah. And that's
So
no
if they
damage
run into it,
from anything, right? Challenges
anything,
or
challenge, songs,
or
anything.
actions.
Yeah. So the one thing that a couple of people have spotted, which is the main reason why the one cost Mickey and the Minnie Mouse is in this deck, is this would stack. So you could give Tiana support from Rapunzel and give it support from something else, and you'd have to challenge her 3 times, and it would only be on that third challenge she would take damage. Because the first one would neglect from one effect, the second one would then neglect from the other effect, and then the third attack would actually then do damage.
So
Plus, you've got to pay the Tiana attacks on top of that.
So what other cards have you got that give support? Because ideally you want something else, don't you? Because then
yeah.
Because
so
otherwise,
we've got
otherwise Rapunzel's got to survive a turn before.
Yeah,
she
so
can
we've
quest and
got
give
Minnie
support,
Mouse in here, which gives Mickey support. So you've got the 1 cost and the 4 cost Mickey in here. But also she, with the Mickey, you could then quest and give it to something else, and she can banish a 5 cost character. So you can use that to buff your opponent's things if they're like 4s and 3s to tick them over, and then banish them using Minnie. So it's a bit of a combo card. You can go either way with it. Obviously, you can tee into more support with this. You could probably put the Mulan in there. There are other support cards. I just didn't want to go too heavy into this, this combo, but you can go as heavy into it as you liked. I didn't want to bring the deck too far away from what it was. But yeah, so the idea would be, obviously, you've got the Mickey here, which also gives your Amber characters +2. So that's going to be hard anyway. The Tiana's a 6 willpower, and no damage goes through until your third challenge. And then the only other change is I've dropped Pluto and put in the Headless Horseman. Mainly, Pluto's great. He's a 5/5 until he takes damage, and then he becomes a 1/5. That means that a lot of people run a very cheap character into him and then take him out with something else. Headless Horseman, same cost, still a good bodyguard, but he's a 4/4. It just means he's going to be slapping back for 4 every time. So you can go either way with it, but I think Headless Horseman, depending on how the meta seems to lie up, could be a better choice than Pluto for that 4-cost bodyguard. So yeah, so that was one of our first day one deck lists.
So that's what I've got to get for Lily, right? So I need some headless.
Yeah, I think so. I think this Mickey's going to be broken, 100%. I think Mickey's going to be broken, and the Rapunzel is going to be quite hard to get hold of. She is legendary, unfortunately, but even just having 1 or 2 in there could really make a difference. Like making it so that way you have to double challenge Daisy or something could be really impactful. So yeah, moving on from there. Obviously, unfortunately, we do have a Blurple list. A lot of players out there are currently running Blurple, and they may want a few ideas on what to put in as a few tech upgrades. So I'm just going to go over the new cards. I won't tell you all about Blurple. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about Blurple. So the first new card that we've put in this is Demona. So she basically, when you play her, exerts all opposing characters, and then each player with 3 cards or in their hand draws until they have 3. So if you have 2 cards, you draw 1. If you have 1, you draw 2, so on and so forth. If you have more than 3 cards, you can't ready, but you don't really mind at that point. Her main ability is done. The fact that she comes in and exerts everything gives you 3 opportunities to trade into whatever you like. And then she's a 5/6 that costs 2 afterwards. It's a big body. It's hard to get rid of. So yeah, that was one of the first ones. I think she was only a 2 of in there just to start off to see how we go. Then we have Pegwin. So I looked at this card and thought, this is okay, but it's not quite a develop. Develop, you keep one, you put one at the bottom. The biggest issue Blurple has is having to hard mulligan 7. If you have to hard mulligan 7, I've done it multiple times now where I've got a perfect curve but I'm missing ramp. If you manage to get this in your hand, you wouldn't need to hard mulligan 7 because your turn 1 you look at the top 4. So therefore you can then find your ramp and put it on the top of the deck. But you top deck it at the start of turn 2. It's not. I think it's better than develop in that situation. Late game obviously develops better because you're going to draw that card. But if you're emergency trying to find ramp, this is going to be better because you're going to be able to search for the top 4, find what you need, and put it back. So, argument's sake, say you had an Elsa belt and a 4 cost in your hand, but no ramp. Instead of having to do all 7, you could potentially keep them and this to try and find that ramp again. You're taking a little bit of a risk, but I think if you've got this in hand, it's a risk you can afford to take. I just think having to hard mulligan 7s never feels good, especially if you do have a good curve. So this needs testing, but I think it's definitely viable, especially it's a 1 cost. It's inkable. And worst case scenario, you ink it.
And more importantly, means that you can now play Bruno in Blurple.
You can. It's like silly things as well. Like you could, if you've got 7 ink, you could play this before Demona and then put the card you want to draw. If you've got 2 left in hand to draw that last card, there are some things like Dumbo ability. If you've got 1 spare ink, you can use this before using your Dumbo ability to make sure you're drawing that card you need. So it helps find that one you need. It's a little bit like a vision, but only costs 1. But you don't draw. That's the only issue from it. But I think being able to put that card you do need on top could be really good for the ramp situation. And then we have Spooky Sight. So this is a very, very scary card. This puts all characters that cost 3 or less into the player's inkwell, face down and exerted. Blurple's known for its ramp. It knows you can get to 6 pretty quick. It pretty much answers most aggro decks. And if you're playing Blurple, the chances are the only 3 cost or under you have on board is Tippo, and Tippo goes in your ink. You just get extra ramp. You're really not bothered. So in this deck, this is pretty much perfect. There is nothing under 3. Tippo is the only character under 3. So, well, you've got your 1 cost, but you got Basil and Rafiki, but there's nothing else that's impactful, so nothing else is going to be going. So this is a perfect board wipe for Blurple. So, and then we have lost 2nd star from the deck, but we've brought back good old Tammy. The Tamatoa has come back with Junior Woodchuck Guidebook. So I've been testing this a little bit online, and this works so well. The amount of times in Blurple you've got spare 2 ink. You're paying a 5 cost character when you're on 7 ink, and you've got that spare 2. You put this down. You don't have to draw from it straight away. You can just leave it. As if they're not running item removal, so if you know that deck doesn't have item removal, you just leave it till you need it. If they do, then you probably want to use it as soon as possible. But if they banish it, you've got Tamatoa in the deck. You just play this, bring it back. You can then wait, quest with Tamatoa and play it for free, and then pop it for 1. So this is a potential drawing 2 cards for 1 ink. So it's been working really well. It's a lot more safe than Second Star is. Second Star can brick. This isn't going to. This can be done over and over, depending on how much ink you've got. And also, this is always going to be better than Finders Keepers. Yeah. So paying 2 ink, 3 ink to draw 2 is better than 5 ink to draw 3. You know, the ratio is always going to be better, especially when it's repeatable. So yeah, this is quite nice. I'm quite excited to see Tonto back. But yeah, so that was the few additions into Blurple, which seem to be doing quite well. So but yeah, you've come up with a bit more of a spicy one for people.
Yeah, so this was interesting because this wasn't the intention. I set out to just say, right, what would I bring in from the new set to just enhance a standard sort of mid-range purple steel. As I was doing that, I was like, can I get the library in here? Just because I always like the library. And I thought, I'm trying to push as much card draw into this as possible. And also thinking about things like Blurple, which would have more difficulty answering an 8 willpower location. Yeah. And then I saw this card, The Game's Afoot, which is an action card, which says...
Now, I've laid this out perfectly for us, and you're jumping straight to...
and I'm jumping straight, making it awkward.
So I'm going to make you start again. Let's go with Cheshire Cat first.
Okay, so we're going to go through the new cards that came into it. So the other nice thing about this deck as it came together was it uses a number of new cards that I think are really interesting cards. So Cheshire Cat, 3 cost, Inkable, 3/4, Quest for 1 lore. It's got Boost 2, so once during your turn you can pay 2 ink to put the top card of your deck face down under this card. And when you do put a card under this character, you may move 2 damage characters from chosen character to chosen opposing character. So that damage move, as you said earlier, can get round things like resist, can get round other, no damage dealt abilities, which
basically
are now
a repeatable
relevant.
Bell, isn't it?
Basically a repeatable Bell, yeah. Obviously Bell would
only 2, not 3
through, but this does 2 instead of 3. But yeah, each time. So if you've got 2 spare ink, and again in purple steel, you do have turns where you have floating ink. You can now move it to shift some damage across. So I thought that was quite an interesting new card, interesting mechanic. I think I've only put 2 copies of it in there. Need to test it, see how it works. We've got next Lexington. So this card is your genie answer, basically. He has a new keyword alert, so he can challenge as if he had evasive, but he isn't evasive, so he doesn't trigger Dumbo or anything like that. He's not evasive even on your turn, but he can challenge evasive characters. 4/4, 3 cost, Inkable, Quest for 1. As his gargoyle, he has a Stone by Day ability, so if you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. I don't think you really care about that. You're putting him down on the board to say...
Yeah, the fact you can one-shot a genie is...
Yeah, you turn your genie sideways and it's gone.
Yeah.
Great. Lexington's going to stay sideways, so you can drop Elsa and then you can take Lexington out. But your Elsa's taken 4 damage.
4 damage in return.
In the process. Yeah. She's still on the board, but she's then quite an easy removal. So I just think, against Blurple, that's a really nice card. Some more gargoyles. So you've sort of gone over Demona, but I think there's another card coming up that make Demona even stronger in this deck. But yeah, just the ability to exert all opposing characters. Set champs at the weekend. shout out to Tom, who you actually played in the final. I played Tom in the last round for sort of winning into the top 4. Our first game finished with 14 minutes left on the round. Bit of a chess match, but most of the time we had just boards of characters staring at each other, as kind of happens in the Steel Mirror. Yeah, so Demona can break those boards now, so she just exerts everything. And then Broadway, bodyguard character. So there's a couple of reasons for him being in this deck, but obviously bodyguard's good. He's high statted, 4/6, quest for 2. I don't know what order you got the cards in, but I'm hoping on the next slide we might have the reason why he's in there. There we go, we do. So performance review. This card, I think, is crackers. So it's 2-cost action. You exert chosen ready character of yours to draw cards equal to that character's lore. So
Broadway is a bodyguard, so you're always going to want him sideways anyway. He quests for 2, so instead of gaining 2 lore, you draw 2 cards. Nice. I wonder if this you sneak a couple of these into purple and use it on Elsa.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a lot of, just card draw, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah. Like I said,
you're not giving up a lot to draw.
There's a lot of 2-questers in the deck, so there's a high chance that you can draw 2 from something. Obviously, for anyone who is thinking of using this, the exert symbol on the card does mean that the card has to be dry, has to be ready to be used. So you can't play something and then exert it. You do have to wait until it dries, just in case anyone was unsure on it. But yeah. So then go on in. Games are I moved it around. It's near the end, but gone.
Yeah. But this is so this is why this deck has kind of ended up being purple steel locations. That wasn't the intention when I started to build it, but I do think it was a lot of fun. But this is an action, 2-cost. Move up to 2 characters to the same location for free. There's nothing amazing about that. It would probably cost you 2 ink to move 2 characters. That location gains resist +2 until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
So library now.
Library.
Yeah, so library has 8 willpower. So, but you're not wanting to drop library on curve generally. This is probably normally drop library a bit later in the game. So they might have a 4 strength and a 5 strength character on board. They can just take it out. Well, with resist +2, they don't take it out. They do it 5 damage from challenging him with those 2 characters now. So it's staying on board. So if you...
And you've just moved 2 characters there.
And you've just moved 2 characters there. So if you can move a couple of characters there which are threatening characters, they're maybe going to quest for 2 each or whatever, your opponent can't afford to leave them. So the opponent's going to have to now deal with them. And if they banish them, you draw cards from library.
Nice.
I just thought that was really nice, and that led me to put in the other location, which is not the Robot Queen, but the Castle Wyvern. So this, it's a cheap location for 2 cost, 5 willpower. So again, if you give this resist, 5 willpower with resist +2, and while characters are there, they gain Challenger 1 and Resist 1. So again, we've talked about the combo in green, or the board wipe with Prince Eric with Malicious, Mean, and Scary, which does 1 damage to each opposing character. Well, if your character's got resist +1, they don't take that damage. So that kind of protects against that board wipe in green.
Yeah, definitely. I like it. I do like it. It's nice to see a location deck coming back, so it could be interesting. Yeah. It definitely means that we do have to be careful and potentially run some location removal, and a bit of item removal by the looks of things.
So this is another interesting one. It's a 1-cost item. Whenever you play a character, you may pay 1 ink and banish this item to deal 2 damage to the chosen character. So you're effectively paying 2 to do 2 damage, but on an inkable card. But you can split it over turn, so you could drop this turn 1. You've just got this threat then.
Yeah,
Just sitting
just sits there.
and your opponent's got to play around it. They've got to respect it and think that this could come in at any point. You know, turn 2 you could drop a 1 cost and then pay 1 ink. Banish this item and get rid of one of the cards they put down. So I just thought it was again a really interesting card. That all needs testing. I haven't had much time to test with this deck, but just really excited for the new cards coming out in the set. There are so many cards that really look playable and impactful. So I think people are going to be able to really cook up some spicy decks.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's definitely been a bit of a power creep this set, as you can see. You know, a lot of the cards that come in have very, very good stats on them. But I think that's going to make the game a little bit more exciting. It is going to push it towards that mid-range than aggro, because a lot of things can now one-hit a lot of the aggro cards. Whereas beforehand, we had that weird situation where you need a Basil and an Elsa. You know, you need team up to take out a Daisy. I mean, with the Tiana and the Mickey, you might still need to team up, but we're getting to that point where the cards in this set are a lot more powerful. So it'd be interesting to see what comes out of this set. It's it's 14 weeks, not 7, so we've got some decent amount of time to get some good results from it. Yeah, I'm excited to see. Like I say, 1 week away now. We're not far. We will find out, see what everyone comes up with. But they are a few of the day one decks that we're saying that we reckon could be quite strong to begin with, and we'll see how things go from there. So, it is that time of the episode for our Art Matters game. So, Art Matters for this week, we have Madam Mim, Rival of Merlin. So, anyone that needs reminding, this was who you'd like to go out trick-or-treating with. And this was from Mrs. FPS, on my other half. She was like, nah, yeah, Madam Mim, definitely. You take her out trick-or-treating. Yeah, she looks really good. Nice choice there. And then next up, now, this one's slightly different. We have a white text border. That's because I actually remembered to go to Spotify. So thank you for commenting on this one. I didn't forget you this time. So yeah, this is from Spotify comments. So we have the Walrus. So yeah, it looks like he knows how to snack. He's definitely the one who's going to be rivaling in that bucket, making sure you get all the good treats. You don't want any of those bad ones. So from there we have Bev, who has commented, and she said, I know the card's not out yet, but the Headless Horseman. Yeah. I mean, that's one hell of a Halloween costume, isn't it?
It's a bit. Yeah, you certainly scare a few people with that one, wouldn't
you? Yeah. I think I'd be opening the door and go, no, don't worry about trick. Definitely treat. So I kind of went on the same borderlines. When I saw Bev's, I was like, you've opened me up. It means I can pick one from this set. And I went for Hades. I went for the Enchanted, looking for a deal. I can see him rocking up at the door and be like, look, you want this, and in return, you can give me sweets. You know, it'd be perfect. You don't even need to do anything with Hades. You just stand back at the curbside and let him do all the work for you. They get in there and make a good deal for you. So, and on that creepy Halloween theme, you decided to go with the really dark and twisted.
So I have to go slightly different. Christian family, so we don't do trick or treating. So we do a light party this time of the year, celebrate Jesus being light of the world. So I was, who's going to come to the light party with me? So I went Max Goof because he looks bright and colourful, and he looks like he's ready to rock. He looks like he's loaded up on sugar already as well, so he doesn't need any of those.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely.
Sweet treats.
He is definitely on the sugar rush. So it's that time that I know you've all been waiting for. I know. I can see the comments already, dragging their feet, making us wait. So it is time for the giveaway. We did it. We're on 500. Like I say, we're now pushing for 1,000. So don't hold out on us now. Don't go. Oh, I won't subscribe this week because they hit 500. They don't need me.
Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe, and if you're watching, ready to see if it's you, go down to the comments and type in, is it me? Or I hope it's me. Let us know that you're watching. Get ready for the drum roll.
This is the first time I've used this, so I apologise if this doesn't work. Well, or goes slightly wrong. So, on my screen, I am now drawing the 2 winners. So, we have 2 winners, and I can announce them on the screen. Here we go.
I'm going to say you can announce them. I doubt you'll be able to pronounce them.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about that. And the winners are... So, our first place winner is Charles? Yeah. And our second place winner was James. So thank you very, very much for both of you for joining in and joining the giveaway. So yeah, I'm excited about this. This is nice. We can go out there and send the stuff off. So if you are watching, I may reach out for you for your address and stuff because I don't think the giveaway collects all that information. So if you are watching and you haven't seen the email, I've probably sent you an email requesting that information. So yeah, congratulations to Charles and James. Thank you very much for helping support the channel, and your prizes and stickers will be on their way. So congratulations to our winners there. And just for anyone that is ready for the Art Matters, so this week's Art Matters, we're actually going to take a little bit of a breather from Art Matters. Not in the sense of we haven't got one, but in the sense we'll make it a little bit easier. So we want to know your favourite whispers. So by art alone, no abilities, no picking the most powerful card. From art alone, what is your favourite whispers card? And we'll reveal them on next week's episode. And it'll be back to a themed Art Matters from there. But we're giving everyone a break. We just want to know what your favourite card is.
Yeah, you say it's a little bit easier, but I tell you what, there are some absolutely banging artworks.
This is very true. This is very, very...
Picking your favourite may not be that easy.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 204 to pick from. We narrowed it down. If we said your favourite out the whole lot, then that's a lot of cards. Or 216. Close enough. So yeah, thank you very much for anyone that does comment and stuff down below. So if you have, please feel free to go down there. We do try and read, and I appreciate every comment. So, and while you're there, exert that subscribe button for us, and it does really help. We are a small channel. We're just ticking over 500 now, and we're pushing up. And we are a channel that only posts once a week. We don't post 4 or 5 times a week. So all those likes, subscribes, and comments really do help. So thank you very much for everyone who does that. Thank you for all your support. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be zooming along and we'll be doing another giveaway for 1,000, very shortly. So yeah, I think that's everything for this week. Is there anything that I've missed?
No, just to say when this episode drops, we'll be a week away from Whispers. So, if you haven't got it in your diaries, check out what your local game store has got on for Whispers. So it drops on the Friday. You can get your stuff from your local game store. Go and get your product. This is one worth stocking up on. There are so many good cards in this set. So make sure that you don't miss out. So you got your pre-orders in, and then see what your store is cooking up for their pre-release event. If you're in the Chelmsford area in the UK, on the Saturday we have our sealed event. So this is the first set, remember, that has been designed for playing sealed as well.
No, that's next set.
Remember, this is the last set before you get a set that's designed for playing sealed. You've got some absolutely fantastic cards in here, so sealed will be an absolute blast. And you get to open a bunch of packs with a bunch of other people opening packs, and people will be shouting out what they've got, and we'll have a fantastic time. So if you are in the area, or if you're on a train line anywhere in the UK, you can get a train down to Chelmsford. We're just behind the train station. That'd be fantastic to see you. So check out Geek Retreat Chelmsford on their socials for all the details. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, definitely. So it has come to that time to roll up that playmat.
Pack away the dice.
And remember, stay uninkable.
See you next time.
See you next time.